Christopher Ward has released Worldtimers before, but never in a dive watch case. Using their light catcher case, the C65 GMT Worldtimer is sure to appeal to dive watch and travel fans alike. Let's take a closer look at the Christopher Ward C65 GMT Worldtimer. While the dial has bold accents with the yellow GMT hand and half the 24-hour track, the rest of the dial is undeniably dive watch inspired. Large hands, short and wide markers, and their signature trident counterbalance are all cues to where the C65 GMT Worldtimer came from. Taking the 24-hour track out of it, there are no major surprises here. If you're familiar with the rest of Christopher Ward's dive watch lineup, the C65 GMT Worldtimer will feel right at home. If their logo at 9 o'clock hasn't bothered you up until now, you're going to be a happy camper. The light catcher case from Christopher Ward is one of my favorite case designs. It fits well on just about any wrist and is extremely comfortable on my own 6 3/4 inch wrist. Everyone talks about Seiko magic, but when it comes to cases made in the last couple of years, Christopher Ward has taken the pole position. The 41mm diameter feels much smaller, more like a 38-39mm watch, and the various cutouts and finishing techniques help it wear very thin. I had this review sample on the textile strap, but I've experienced their other models on their bracelet and have no doubt this watch would be even more comfortable on the bracelet. The DLC bezel also helps slim it down a little bit and adds a nice contrast to the rest of the case design. The bezel itself is executed perfectly in terms of its action and design. It rotates easily in both directions and has a satisfying feel when being rotated. While I believe it could be relatively easy to move the bezel by knocking it into something, it wouldn't be too much of a concern as this isn't used for timing. If that were to happen, you could easily move it back to the desired city. The Worldtime bezel is easy enough to use. Rotate it until your home city reaches the current time on the 24-hour track. For example, if you're in New York City and it's 2 p.m., move New York to 1400. From there, you can work out what time it is in any part of the world. Some cities have a half bracket next to them on the bezel. This is to allow for a time adjustment for daylight saving time. If those cities are currently in daylight saving time, you could adjust the bezel so it is aligned with the line on the half bracket. It is a bit weird to explain, but in practice it makes perfect sense. I enjoyed the use of yellow accents on the Worldtimer. It was a welcome escape from the Pepsi and Batman color schemes that have become all but a cliche at this point. The yellow adds a nice pop of color without being overwhelming or too in your face. However, I do think that the yellow on the 24-hour track should have been on the bottom to better correspond with daylight hours. There are a couple things that I would change about the Worldtimer. I would drop the trident on the counterbalance as I don't feel it fits on this model, and I would like to see a heavier loom application. I would also spend the couple extra bucks and opt in for the excellent bracelet if I was buying this for myself. The C65 GMT Worldtimer has just about everything you could want in a versatile travel watch. A good bezel, multiple time zone functionality, screw-down crown, and decent loom. The C65 GMT Worldtimer is also a great value when you consider the whole package. No matter how you look at it, you're going to have yourself a great travel watch that you could easily travel with and not bring any other watches. Thanks for checking out the video review, and for the full written review, head over to watchclicker.com.